Testing 1 2, testing 1 and 2. 32 blue, 42 3. There we go. All right. And let's go ahead and get okay. Live stream October. I need to get rid of that one. So it should have cleared that memory. Right. Yep, that does it. Okay, let's see what we got over here. So looking at this morning, we have this is the watch list that I'm looking at. I got EVOC up there, low volume, MSPR with 48 million, BQ, which was moving yesterday, VEEE, low volume. I did end up taking a low volume trade yesterday on something that was kind of close to my criteria, but the volume and the percentage gain just wasn't there. Ended up taking a loss on it. So starting the month off with a nice red day and coming to dig out, but it's not as big as a whole as October. October was, almost $400, but yeah, the spread was low and it's me selling out. It kept feeling me low. When I was trying to sell, it's selling me way away from what the price that I was seeing. And on the paper, it was like, yeah, you're down $89, but yeah, it was selling me out below 100. So I was selling out below 100. Let me see. Chat. Good morning, Hebrew. Getting into it. That EVOC I see up there, I think that's an acquisition. I saw the chart a little bit earlier and I was like, that looks like it's going to not do anything. And that's probably why it's got lower volume right now. But let's get into everything real quick. It's settled there. All right, there we go. All right, we're ready. All right, let's switch over to the regular screen. Okay, so that's EVOC. Let's jump over here to the main. Yeah, this acquisition, I'm not too worried about that or interested in that. EQ. The one that I ended up trading yesterday, which was super low volume. I really shouldn't have took this trade on APLM. I was looking for it to come off the bottom, but it just never did get any volume. Everything was kind of just overshadowing it. And I was like, well, maybe I was just off. So it is what it is. $11 acquisition. Is that what you said? Let's see. From 458 yesterday up to 1111. Let's go see what's this talking about. Evoke. I know we've seen this one before. Yeah, One Life. And the problem was on the P&L, it said I was down like my normal loss, like 70-80 bucks. But when I was selling, it was selling me all over the place. So yeah, I took a much bigger loss than I needed to. Much bigger loss than I needed to, but not unrecoverable, of course. And I was doing limit bid orders, and it was jumping it and selling me out. I'm like, bro, come on, just get me out. But Evoke over here is the acquisition. This is Evoke Pharma. Evoke Pharma Inc. operates as a specialty pharmaceutical company that focuses on the development and commercialization of drugs for the treatment of gastroenterological disorders and diseases. It offers Gemoti, nasal spray to treat symptoms associated with acute and recurrent diabetic gastroparesis in adults. The company markets its products to gastroenterologists, internal medicine specialists, primary care physicians, and select healthcare providers. Evoke Pharma was incorporated in 2007 and is based in Solana Beach, California. And I think, you know what? Now that I think about it, that's how I started off the month of October. Was on a low volume mover that I was like, all right, let's get it going. It was the same thing. It was the same thing. It's just a smaller loss this time. That's it. So gotta get that volume in there. All right, let's jump back over here. Actually, no, let's jump back over to the news right now till we get something else popping. All right, so earnings revealed tech strength and consumer weakness is the top headline there on Yahoo. Wall Street CEO warns brace for 10% pullback in stocks. We got Dick Cheney. We're looking for Bitcoin sinks toward 100,000 after breaking key level. One Life is at 100,000. Time to buy 100,000 coins, right? No, I'm playing. Palantir stock falls as valuation dumps or doubts cloud upbeat outlook. Spotify Q3 earnings beats as price hike chatter builds. Amazon 38 billion OpenAI deal shows it is no longer a AI laggard. So Amazon is in there with some pretty good news. We'll notate that. Let's see. Uber forecasts strong holiday quarter bookings on membership boost. Douche Telecom partners with NVIDIA for AI Cloud for Q1 2026. Intuitive Machines to broaden space business with $800 million deal from Lantris. Hims shares rise as talks to offer Novo new obesity pill. Spotify again. And China blames Netherlands for chip supply tensions amid Nexperia standoff. So China is blaming the Netherlands. Interesting. All right, let's see what we're talking about over here. Oh man, I can't click it. Click it.
Quarter results are hitting the wire, and let's take a look at where some of these numbers landed. So Palantir reporting third quarter earnings and revenue above expectations, also raised its fourth quarter and full year sales outlook. You're seeing shares up around 4% in after hours trading. Revenue coming in at $1.18 billion for the 3 months ending September 30th. That's a 63% increase from the previous year and above the $1.09 billion Wall Street expected. Now, driving that revenue beat was Palantir's business in the U.S. Its revenue from U.S. government contracts jumped 52% to $486 million. That's above the $470 million expected. And the company's U.S. commercial segment saw revenue soar 121% to $397 million. In a letter to shareholders, CEO Alex Karp called Palantir's U.S. commercial business, quote, an absolute juggernaut. Earnings, like we said, exceeded expectations. Adjusted earnings per share of 21 cents was ahead of the 17 cents expected and more than double its EPS of 10 cents a share in the third quarter of 2024. Now, for some background here, Palantir sells its artificial intelligence software to businesses and governments in both the U.S. and abroad. Its tech does everything from supply chain analysis to surveillance and identifying military targets. So the government business has been especially important to this company, and it's something that Wall Street analysts have been looking at closely closely as the U.S. government continues to not only spend on defense, but also remains shut down. But that did not affect that fourth quarter guidance. Clearly not a factor at this point. We are seeing shares up again 4% in after hours trading.
Palantir making moves, huh? Let me go look at their daily chart.
Three Fed officials said they were in favor of cutting rates last week, but they're unsettled when it comes to the next meeting in December as they weigh risks for higher inflation with a softer job market. In an interview this morning with Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee, he told me he's more nervous about inflation than employment, given that it's been running above the Fed's 2% target for 4.5 years now and moving in the wrong direction. He said if we're just counting on inflation to come down because it's transitory, that makes him uneasy. At the same time, he acknowledged that given the government shutdown, the Fed is not getting a lot of data on inflation, making visibility poor.
I'm not decided for what I think about the next meeting, and we are still going to get at least some private sector observations and the Chicago Fed's labor market indicators telling us some about the job market. We're probably not going to get much on the inflation side, so I am a little wary, and my threshold for cutting is a little bit higher than it was in the last two meetings.
Elsewhere, San Francisco Fed President Mary Daly said she also agreed with the decision to cut interest rates last week. But when it comes to December, she's going to, quote, keep an open mind as she balances the risks of higher inflation with weaker job growth. Meanwhile, Fed Governor Lisa Cook says she's more worried about the job market than inflation, so the opposite of Austin Goolsbee, which is what led her to vote in favor of cutting rates last week. But she did not tip her hand for December, saying only, quote, looking ahead, policy is not on a predetermined path, and that every meeting, including December, is a live meeting. Now, Cook also did not address the pending court case before the Supreme Court about whether President Trump has the legal authority to fire her.
Okay, so looking over here at Palantir actually gapped up during aftermarket. It went up to 222%. That is a huge move, but then it fell, which I don't know if this is on Catalyst or what, but it fell from 222 back down here to 192, which is what they were just reporting. I guess this report must have came from yesterday afternoon because yeah, it was up, but now it is definitely down a little bit. Palantir is down -7% on the day, and then Amazon is down -1%. So we will continue to watch out for all of this. Go back over here.
Allie?
Yeah, Jen, there's so much to keep track of and a lot of different viewpoints as well. Appreciate it as always.
You guys have the data here, and it's not terribly encouraging, especially for young people.
Oh, that's true. So, at the JP Morgan Chase Institute, we're looking at, financial data affecting households really directly, and we've done recent research on the labor market, and we looked at, real income gains are actually looking not so hot. Nominally, actually okay, kind of similar rates as we saw prior to the pandemic, so kind of nice tight labor market, but with higher inflation, it's really knocked down purchasing power gains. And as you noted, people are on.
Oh, so with Black Friday and with all of these holidays coming up, how y'all feeling about y'all still gonna be in the shopping mood with all of this inflation and all this stuff going on? Y'all going to get y'all's all the normalities of the holidays? Or y'all just gonna focus on the more related needs than the wants? What y'all got? What y'all doing?
25 to 29, younger people are affected most by the slowdown in hiring because they do more job switching, and that's how they kind of like climb the career ladder. So when that's kind of ground to a halt, that affects young people most directly.
And so what, their real wage gains are something like 2%? Is that, am I remembering the number correctly? Like how does that compare to what other cohorts are seeing?
Well, you know, it's kind of interesting that young people are actually still growing faster than older people. It's just that kind of, the steepness of their like life cycle path of income is just, it's a little shallower. And that really can impact, if you don't make up for that, that can impact your lifetime earnings. So even just a percentage point or two while you're young can really matter.
And does that tend to be the trajectory that you have that pretty quick acceleration when you're younger, and then the growth slows as you get older? So historically, if people aren't doing it when they're younger, are they able to make it up?
Yeah, that's absolutely true, that like this is an issue. And I would say that, you know, people are trying to find where they fit into the labor market, you know, and that often that's not going to be the first job out of, you know, college or something like that. You have to kind of feel out what it's like to be on the, you know, in the workforce, and job switching is kind of how you find the best fit, how you find a more productive match, and that ultimately supports your income gains. So it's a big deal.
So when we talk about the low hiring, low firing environment, and you know, there's been some concern on a macro level that it's happening, but it's not alarm. But for this is really where it has a big impact, I would imagine, because the lack of job switching you're talking about is because of that sort of low hiring, low firing environment, right? Lack of mobility.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's what we're seeing is downstream of that overall labor market dynamic, and you know that's what the Fed is thinking about when you know it's taking these cautionary rate cuts. It's, you know, it's in a very challenging place because its dual mandate is kind of in tension. So the labor market and inflation are kind of in tension with each other. But, you know, it's looking at this and, you know, the FOMC is trying to do something, but, you know, they're kind of constrained in how much they can do to solve, you know, the cyclical side of this kind of relative freeze up in the labor market. And we don't want to go too crazy. You know, it's not like these indicators of like quits rate or gross hires, like, you know, they're low, but they're, you know, we've seen them before.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's concerning, but we're not like ringing huge alarm bells at this point. I mean, maybe some of the places where we are seeing it, for example, we were watching Chipotle and Shake Shack earnings last week, and both of them sort of highlighted that young people in particular are not spending as much at their restaurants. So as you guys think about it, what are those kind of knock-on effects? Because if my salary is not rising as much, I don't have as much to spend if I'm in that age range.
Yeah, so, you know, kind of to put yourself in the shoe of someone younger relative to someone, say, like mid-career or later, they're more likely to be renters. So when inflation, especially like how home price inflation went up, you know, this had a distributional impact. So it kind of maybe was neutral or maybe even helped some older people that own homes, but young people were less well off. Their rent went up, so they had, you know, they were disadvantaged by that. And while we have seen that young people are engaging with the stock market in much greater extent than they used to historically, still, like, you know, they're making new investments at already high prices. They're not riding decades and decades of past gains. So I think, you know, that's you know, essentially what you're seeing is downstream at these retailers targeting young people. You know, they're disadvantaged by these asset price and inflation trends.
So when you look forward, and the data that you and your team are looking at, do you expect any kind of change? Do you expect this to worsen? What do you think is going to happen next?
Well, I'd kind of go back to, you know, when I referenced the Fed earlier, they're trying to manage this process. And so far, you know, we had high inflation and, you know, rate hikes up to, you know, 5.5%. And, you know, I think there was a lot of uncertainty about whether we're going to have a recession. We're kind of like still managing this like very extended soft landing, but inflation hasn't come down. So, you know, I think that what's going on here is that we just kind of like don't know whether we're actually going to fully land and get inflation back to 2% with, but, you know, certainly, you know, that's certainly what policymakers are trying to do. But, you know, with inflation high, there's just limited room to do that kind of thing.
Right, and limited spending power on the part of some of these folks that you studied.
Right.
George.
All right, so let me read some of these chats here. One Life said I hate Palantir. Senate said earnings went down after earning call ended. You said you was shopping at Dollar General this year. Hey, Dollar General got the sales, man. You get those nice scented candles. You be in there for the holidays. Let's see. Senate said no. Government shutdown is still going on. Senate asks One Life, why you hate Palantir? I've heard they are an evil company. Okay. And then Senate said, so Senate was asking One Life about that. Good morning, Donnell. So I haven't heard any news about Palantir being, I don't know, maybe I haven't researched it enough. Maybe they are on some other type stuff or treat their employees some type of way. I'm not sure, but yeah, pulling back. So One Life and Senate basically saying pulling back because the government shut down and pulling back because of the current environment right now. So hey, some people now I don't know if y'all have like government jobs or y'all have regular or private jobs. But yeah, government jobs have definitely been highly sought after for years and years. And with the government shutdowns, man, they really make government jobs not look great. But yeah, let's keep going. I haven't seen anything else pop up on the scans as of yet. Yeah.
Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Why can't this continue into next year? If tariffs aren't going to take down the market, if the shutdown's not going to take down the market, if higher valuations aren't going to take down the market, we have the Fed out there likely to cut rates a couple more times next year. What hits things here?
Yeah, so as we think about what goes wrong, I think that the simplest way to describe it, it's not that people were wrong to be worried about all these tariffs or policy uncertainty. It's that they expected it to be negative too soon. So the economy is still facing headwinds. The unemployment rate is rising. We are seeing economic metrics come in, but it's not reacting to tariffs and trade uncertainty as fast as everybody expected it to. But just because it doesn't do it as quickly, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And I think that, to me, as we look at 2026, I can start painting a case that the stock market is starting to make the economy look better than it really is, because AI is powering the S&P 500 higher, while the rest of these sectors, while not bad, we're starting to see little cracks. And I think that's a big thing to watch in 2026.
Knowing what you own is.
One Life said he hates Palantir because he owned it when it IPO'd roughly 4 years ago, and if he was just an investor in it, in hell, the position would be valued. Oh, so you sold out. Let me see. Thanks again for your help on the future bars. It's working great. Nice. Let me go look at Discord real quick. I'm gonna let this roll.
Buying things when they're out of favor. If you're buying things when they're in the headlines, like Palantir today is going to report, okay? Mm-hmm. It could be great. It could be not so great. I have no idea. Chances are it's going to be great. So they're going to do $1 billion in revenue, okay? $1 billion. Last time I checked, there are 4 quarters in a year. That's $4 billion in revenue. They're trading at $500 billion. That's not $4 billion in profits. It's $4 billion in revenues. Wedbush was out today saying it's going to go to $1 trillion. So 250 times sales. A lot has to go perfectly right for that valuation to be realized. Because what is a stock? It's just at the present value of the future cash flows discounted back, okay? So $1 trillion worth of market cap valuation, it's nowhere near that today. So what happens with these type of Momo stocks is if they hit and exceed expectations, which could certainly be the case tonight, it will continue to go up. People won't care about valuation. They will say this is a paradigm shift. The moment, whether it's a year from now, a quarter from now, tonight, 2 years from now, they miss expectations by 1%, the stock does not go down 1%. The stock goes down 50% because it's like yelling fire in a crowded exit. And Warren Buffett always said, rule number 1 is don't lose money. Rule number 2 is don't forget rule number 1. And when you're playing with paradigm shift and you're investing based on narrative versus earnings power, cash flow, predictability, it's okay as long as you know the game you're in. But if you're buying it just because it's going up and you don't understand that at some point that cash flow has to justify the price, when the music stops, you better make sure you have a chair because it could be very lonely if you don't.
All right, I'm looking at Discord, looking at what RexCon. So basically your future cast indicator is giving you like the next now with this, does it give you the next 2 bars? How many bars can it look ahead on this future cast indicator that you got in Discord? You set it at 2 bars. Oh, so you can set it for more though. So is 2 bars where the 80% lies that you were talking about, that for the 100 or no, the 1,000 sample size, is 2 bars what you were using to test that for those 5 to 20 minute trades? Yes, okay. Perfect. So you're not looking that far ahead. You're just looking and this 2 bars ahead, does this change per time frame? Like is it is it the same on 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute, or is it different based on the different calculations that you can use? So RexCon, he's got a nice little indicator there that basically is like a look ahead indicator. So based on what has previously happened, where will the next bars form is basically what the indicator is doing. Okay, so you only use it on the 5 minute. Perfect. So that's good because if you're just switching time frames a whole lot, it could get inconsistent. So only on the 5 minute, 80%, that's pretty nice. All right, let me jump over here and see if we got anything else jumping around. Evoke. MSPR. What is this thing? Does anything have cap? Well, did I just exit that? Hopefully not. Okay, I didn't. Does anything else have catalyst on this morning that is a low float that is up? 11.3 trading halt. Man, we already 4 days into the month. It's gonna be December before we know it. BQ ended up halting down. I didn't even see this yesterday. I think the last time I looked at it was probably around like this 550 area. I was like, oh man, that thing's probably gonna continue climbing. But then it stopped midday at 12.20, looks like, and went from $4 down here to 3 something. So completely transitioned the map for anybody that was holding that. That hurts, especially if you got into this early, looking for it to just continue. But I believe it's been a multi-day. Oh yeah, it had a dump back here too. So it went up here from $7 up to $72, came down, had a little pop at the open, 26 bucks, went all the way back down to $3. Then wrapped back up to $7, and then a gap down back to $3. Yeah, I did not trade BQ at all. I didn't even, I think it was like a Chinese stock or something. It had some weird stuff going on for sure. But yeah, the Discord is free. Of course, you can get in there and we have conversations about everything investing, really. It doesn't really matter what it is, but kind of get different insights from different people that have different experiences trading different securities, whether it's options or mid caps, large caps, small caps. I haven't really seen anybody in there that's just forex trading, because I don't even forex trade, but I think that something can be learned from anyone that has been exposed to this market, especially the new market that we have that is much higher pace, much more volume, much thicker in trading. All right, let me go and look at refresh page to see if anything else has popped up here. And also, who do we have speaking today? So today is the 4th. We have discussion by Vice Chair Bowman, Bank Supervision and Monetary Policy today. Okay, is that right now? 6:35 a.m. Okay, you're now exiting the Board of Governors group. Sure, let's just do that. Important information, blah blah blah. Okay. Make sure there's no rules against live streaming this, because they got a bunch of rules out here. I'd be like, oh yeah, I agree to this, and I didn't even read it. Get me chopped up. Who's responsible for processing user data? Data protection officer. What is the purposes? And blah, blah, blah. What personal data will be processed? How long? All right, yeah. So that's basically my protections. Okay, all right. It says 6:35. Man, I'm not entering my email. No, I'm cool. Let's go back to the Fed. I'm straight. All right, Uber stock dips despite strong Q3 earnings. Now, was it Uber or one of the companies that was working with, was it Tesla, or it was some kind of smart vehicle? I forgot which one it was. I don't know if it was Uber or Lyft or what. But they are dipping. Let's go look at their daily chart. Uber. So they closed at $99 on yesterday, and now they're hovering around $95. And it says that their earnings beat. So they had strong Q3 earnings, and it says Uber is. Let me go and see how much they're up right now. Uber. Oh well, it's down 4% right now. Nvidia also right beside Uber there, which is down 1% as well. Where are the green stocks? They're posting them up here. This was 10 minutes ago. It says Uber plus 3%, but that is not what it's looking like. It's actually down. Let's see. FinTech Broadridge profits doubles on investor communications unit strength. Former U.S. Vice President Dick Cheney dies at 84. Oh, okay. Yeah, he was been around for a long time, man. Dang, 84. Let me go up here to here. Credit healthy. Blue oil. Oh, this is 9 minutes ago. This is like right around the corner.
Hitting the wire, and let's take a look at.
No, I think we already saw that. Ooh. JP Morgan stock market. Know what you own. The key to long-term wealth. All of these like yesterday afternoon, so I'm not too. I want to see more recent stuff. Give me the more recent. MSPR is the only thing that's really sucking up the volume on today. It's 80 or 79% or 79 cents, but up 50%. Moved from 50 cents up here to 79. It's bumped its head here a couple of times, but has a crazy amount of volume with 59 million shares traded. It closed yesterday with a 30-cent ATR. I don't even know how that's possible. with it being this cheap. But let's see, yesterday it went up to 107. And then in pre-market, it went up to 87. So a ATR of 30 cents, though, is kind of wild. 23 up to 86, down to 40. Yeah, that's pretty big for that price range. And being under $1, continuing to make 30-cent moves is down and up. So you can lose a lot of money oversizing on that. Get you a nice 10,000 share position and it goes down 30 cents. Right, let me see what we got here. Palantir with 5 future bars. This is from RexCon. He said Palantir with 5 future bars. Personally, I would not trust 5 bars out as much as 2 bars out. So what's the variance on the bars? Like if you took the 2 bar position over the 5 bar position, what's the percentage win rate on 5 bars? So as you go out, how much does the win rate depreciate from 80%? Does it go down like only 5%? Does it go down like 25%? Is it something big and unusual? Because that would be crazy. Crazy drop off. But 80%, I mean, I wouldn't even touch that thing, man. If it's doing 80%, that means if you take 10 trades, 8 of them will be winners. You only back tested and traded a 2 bar out. Got you. Nvidia continues to sink on down. Palantir. I mean, with large caps being down today, I would expect small caps to show us something today for sure. Because usually when large caps are ripping, then small caps are dead. But now large caps are kind of looking mid. You use a 1-to-1 risk to reward. Nice. Okay, 1-to-1. Electric aircraft maker Beta Technologies raises over $1 billion in U.S. IPO. Electric aircraft maker. What's their ticker? Beta Technologies. The Vermont-based company sold 29.9 million shares at a price of 34 piece above indicated range of 27 to 33. What's their ticker though? Beta Technologies. I'm not seeing that anywhere. Not sure about that. It said they IPO, but I'm not seeing it. That stock that bought let me go look at KMB. KMB was the stock that bought the Tylenol maker. They're green right now, and then KBU was the other name that they had there. So KBM, this was the one that was buying the company. They took quite a bit of a fall and continued to grind down, buying the company that makes Tylenol. Then KBU itself, which had quite a bit of a run up, has sold. Wait, let me go to 15 minute. This 1 minute is screen is chopping around. Okay, there we go. But yeah, this one is the one that actually makes Tylenol and didn't have the greatest day. Just holding right here in this 1630 range. There was a lot of bad press on Tylenol for a couple of weeks out of October, or even before that. Actually, there was rumors about it before October, but then the Tylenol itself, just the idea, people were just leaving it on the shelves. They wouldn't buy it. Yeah, kind of killed it for old Tylenol. Is it safe to do? Are you referring to one-to-one risk, or are you referring to Tylenol? Rex Khan? Oh, Discord attachment. Got you. Let's see. Using DISM command prompt. Yeah, that's just a cleanup. And actually, you could do this with you could do that with, well, I don't know if you're on Windows 11. Maybe you're not on Windows 11, but if you're on Windows 11, there's a app on there that you can use to do disk cleaning. You can do you can actually set a schedule for your disk to be cleaned with that app. You can do it with Disk Cleaner and just set a task, but there's more and more apps coming out to clean. What is this? Hutu popping up? Hutu, I don't know. I don't know about that. It's $4.54. Hutu. I don't know why it's popping up here, but it's looking like it's making a round trip. Went up to $4.98. Just a quick pop, but only 111,000 shares. So it's probably gotta pump out some more volume. Up 16%. And I don't see, well, actually, no. Fusion Fuel Green PLC announces groundbreaking of landmark industrial decarbonization project in South Africa. Okay, what is Hutu? Why is it doing these moves? You know, the ones that we've seen before, it's crazy that I forget like what they are, because I'm like, if they were good on the day, I mean, I still don't remember them. It's just so many tickers. But that's why we do our due diligence. Come on, Hutu, pull up. Yeah, but that's the legit command that you're using, the DISM command. Let's see. Here is my Fusion Fuel. Go to profile. Fusion Fuel Green PLC, together with its subsidiaries, manufactures and sells miniaturized PEM electrolyzers to produce green hydrogen in Portugal, Spain, and the rest of Southern Europe. The company offers HEVO chain and centralized PEM electrolyzer and HEVO solar, a grid independent hydrogen generator. It also provides engineering and procurement services, FEL 1, 2, and 3 studies, construction and legalization services, and operation and maintenance services. In addition, the company is involved in hydrogen project development. It serves natural gas networks and grids, oil refineries, ammonia producers, regulators, and related government departments. Fusion Fuel Green PLC was founded in 2018 and is based in Dublin, Ireland. We've seen a couple of them come out of Dublin. They starting to become the new Israel. They come up and, man, they do torch people. They do end up torching people a lot of times. So I'll be careful on that one. Looks like, let's just look back here. What am I on? The 15 minute? Let's go to the 1 minute, see how choppy it looks. Okay, so it came from down here, $3.95, went up here to $5, but it's only up 12% now. At first, the volume was pouring into it, but it has since slowed down. All right, MSPR still 61 million shares traded. Okay. Well, at least we saw it. But yeah, it's not running towards 1 million shares by any means. All right, back to Discord. That's what I was looking at. DSM online claim. Yeah, you really for that script that you're running, you really don't have to go online. Your computer should already have it. But wasn't your computer like a XP or something? Wasn't it like an older version? It was like a super old version, wasn't it? Or have you upgraded to Windows 10, Windows 11? Windows 10 actually ended their security updates on October 14th. So, you might want to think about moving on up. If you're still on Windows 10, I think they're still doing like quality or QoS updates, quality of service updates, but I don't think they're doing security. They're focused on Windows 11 applications now. I remember when everybody was so skeptical of Windows 11, they were like, "Man, I ain't going over there." And I was one of them. I was like, "Nah, I'm good. Let me let them get the bugs out of the way." But Windows 11 has definitely consolidated things, made moving around Windows. Oh, traded in your dial-up for Windows 11. Nice. So if you're on Windows 11, you have the disk cleaner. If you go to your start, you hit your start key and type in clean or clean manager. It will clean up. Now I don't know exactly if you have I don't know exactly what you're trying to clean up. Are you trying to clean up a specific file or folder, or are you trying to clean up the whole drive? Because if you're trying to clean up the whole drive, you just use a clean manager and select what you want to clean and let it rip. If you have files in your recycle bin that may need to that you don't want to lose, you probably want to deselect that or get those files out of there before you clean it, because it's going to get rid of them. I mean, I say it's going to get rid of them. Anything on a computer is recoverable. I mean, unless you just overwrite it, it's still there. You just got to pay a lot of money to get it back. That's all. Let's see what we got here. Like, oh no, you lost your files. No, what they mean is you don't have the money to afford to get your files back. Okay. Yeah, H2 taking a nice little head dive from 498 going on down there. It didn't have the volume. It's straight back to the red. We're about to hit the top of the hour at 7 o'clock. We'll see if anything new populates. Evoke and MSPR were trash. Let's go back over here to some news. All right, so it says global payments quarterly profit rises on strong performance in merchant solutions unit. Okay, and then it's got GPN and V, but it's showing them as red. Big Tesla investor will vote against Musk's massive pay package. Okay, so did that make Tesla go up or down, or what did it do? Tesla is currently red. Sometimes I wonder about these Yahoo Finance numbers they got out here, because they aren't really showing the live data. Let me look at GPN and V. They might be green. Yep, GPN is green right now, and V. Maybe it's taking it from the previous day's close or something like that. I don't know. Oh my goodness, this thing's low volume. Yeah, I know about that low volume, man. Leave that low volume alone. All right, so 5 things to know before the stock market opens. Let's see what they got. 5 things to know. Is this a video or is this a picture? Not sure. Stock futures are falling pre-market Tuesday as investors digest fresh corporate earnings reports. Palantir Shares are sliding after reporting a jump in revenue and on strong demand for its AI platform. Executives from Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley said that a market correction is likely coming within the next 2 years. Starbucks announced a joint venture with Boyu, or yeah, I guess I said that right, Boyu Capital, to run in China operations. Sarepta Therapeutics shares plunged after it released disappointing results for its trial of treatment for muscle wasting disease. So here's what you need to know. So number one, they say this is opinionated, I believe, and let's see who wrote this. Investopedia published this. Terry Lane. Okay, this is November 4th this morning. So number one, stock futures fall amid a wave of corporate earnings. Number two, Palantir shares fall after reporting out otherworldly revenue growth. Wall Street executives see market pullback coming. Starbucks announces Chinese joint venture, and Sarepta Therapeutics stock plummets after disappointing trial results. So one thing I'm really going to keep up here. I'm gonna see how what Palantir does. Is it going to continue dropping or what? Is it going to make a nice turnaround? I don't know. But based on their news and their strong earnings, you would think there will be bullish sentiment. Looking at the overall NQ though, I see the NQ over there is looking like it's in a head dive as well. Let me go flip over there. Maximize. So NQ. Let's jump back a little bit. So it was at highs of 26,399. Ran down here. This looked like it was forming some type of uptrend, but it actually came and slashed right on through that 25, right at the 2600s, and hit a bottom down here at 25,645. So I saw on Bitcoin and all of those today, there was a major pullback here. Let me go over here to Trading View. Make sure y'all can see this. Yep. Okay, so Trading View, you see this nice little pullback on Bitcoin, a lot of red in the market. So let's see where it falls to. It had this previous bottom that came down to 74. I don't know if it can get down to 74, but looking for it to continue to pull back and may add to some positions, but I'm definitely going to give it time, especially on this setup. This is the monthly chart for Bitcoin. So each one of these candles is a month. Just looking over at the month over month action that we've been seeing here. So it had came down. It looks like I thought they said that it came down to 100,000, but maybe it said it was going towards 100,000 instead of came down to 100,000. But anyway, yeah, Bitcoin doing a little pulling back. Don't know how many of you all have crypto investments or what percentage of your portfolio is crypto investments, but you know, I definitely am diversified. I got a little bit of everything, so like, hey, let's just go, man. Let's see what rocks out. Oh, what is this thing? APB. What did they do? They announced a 1-for-30 reverse stock split effective November 3rd. Let me read what this is. So, they achieved a 60% reduction in operating costs through a focused cost optimization plan. What price though? Did they say the prices? They did not say 2 million shares. It didn't say any prices. They just said the number of shares of common stock outstanding will be reduced from approximately 81.2 million to 2.7 million. So that is quite a bit of a adjustment in the outstanding shares. 81.2 million down to 2.7 million is what I'm seeing over here on TOS. For this reverse stock split is at $6 right now, but you know, again, I'm going to wait for a little bit more volume this time instead of rushing and trying to get in there, let it kind of play around a little bit and gain some attention. MSPR is almost to 100 million shares traded during pre-market. Low float, cheap mover. Has been moving from 66 up to 82, down to 72. Definitely a choppy little penny stock. ABP. This reverse stock split news, but they didn't give any prices on that. That's the only thing. So it's definitely gonna have to get more volume for sure. What's up, Stream Hub World? Okay, so it says Spotify stock jumps. This was 7 minutes ago. Spotify stock jumps on strong results. Let's go look at Spotify. Spotify spot. $676. Looking right here on the 1 minute, we can see there was quite a bit of a ruckus. It's like 5 o'clock this morning or something like that. Was at 640, jumped up here to 696. Spotify pay a dividend? Let's go see. Spotify. I don't know if I've ever heard of Spotify paying a dividend. Spotify is more like a technology company. Most technology companies don't really pay out. But they have a great product for sure. I use Spotify for a lot of stuff. And they're constantly diversifying, especially now with AI. They have a AI DJ that kind of goes through, what you like and what you've been listening to and things like that, and it can actually play and kind of give you a mix of things that you would like. So it's pretty cool. Just hit the DJ and he gets it going. Anyway, I'm guessing something may pop later on towards the open. Kind of been a slow come up for small caps, but I am glad to see that the large caps are taking a little bit of a break, a little bit of a pullback. And it may be because the market is down right now. So I'm looking for something that does not care about the market going down. That's a small cap that wants to attack the highs no matter what. It wants to buck against the trend, as they like to say. And right now, I guess MSPR was kind of bucking against the trend. It just doesn't have the range. It's kind of dangerous because it's that small range. But I want to buck against the trend with volume. TPET, what is this thing? TPET, it says Trio Petroleum Corp announces strategic acquisition of cash flow positive production in Alberta. So TPET is up 17%, just popped on, but again, it's fishing for volume right now. Fishing for volume, only up 16%. It is a low float, closed with ATR of 8 cents yesterday. Let me look at the daily chart. Ooh, that daily chart is kind of choppy on T-Pet. Look at this. Looks like a box, like boxes. It has done pops in the past, but has always given back what it has. Let's see. So the most recent pops, it had a 139 up here level. $138 peak level. We'll call that a peak daily level. And then it has this gap here from 147 up to 165. This is the higher part of the gap. Gap level. Here. Daily gap level. It's the lower part, 146 there. Lower daily level. Lower daily gap level. Okay, so a couple of little, but well, now it's revisiting $1 very quickly. Those levels that we just marked up are right here, 138s and all of that. But I'm not sure if it can get up there. It's acquisition of cash flow positive production. Says Trio Petroleum Canada subsidiary acquires mineral lease covering quarter section located at Northwest something for 150K cash. So they paid 150K cash in restricted shares. Okay. What is this? Stake, STKH. What's the catalyst on this one? Stakeholder Foods announces acquisition of Twine Solutions. There's a lot of acquisitions going on today in small caps. That's not right. HT Hebrew says HTZ looks good. Let me go look at that. HT Hertz. I've definitely heard of this one before. Says news for today, earnings scheduled for November 4th. Companies reporting before the bell. Let's see. So is this one that's reporting before the bell? Yep. Is expected to report quarterly earnings at 3 cents per share on revenue of 2.41 billion. And it went up here to a high of 596. Let's see if it starts to suck up volume. Oh, wrong. Oh, it's HTZ. My bad, typed it wrong. HTZ. Hertz. Up 17% there. 1 million, almost 2 million shares traded. Let's look at the daily chart on Hertz. So Let's see. Hertz had a gap up. It was down here at 494, and now it's trading around, let's see, 581. So it had a little, I wouldn't even call this a peak. This is within the trading range here. So it had a $6 level. Where's my circle? We had a level here, came up here to 756, and we're just gonna have to see how it holds in this level here. Okay. So see if it, I guess, see if it can hold the 6. It's only 20 cents away from the 6 to break what this looks like, which is a kind of a head and shoulders, but to break that, holding that 6 and trying to go higher probably would be looking good. It's got almost 2 million shares traded. Top side 596. Bodies were right here at the 589. Whoops, I'm on the wrong screen. Bodies were right here at the 589. Top was at the 596 there. And there it is over 6. Okay. Well, a try over 6. We see that volume moving around. $2 million shares traded now. Yeah, Hertz looks like it's going to I mean, it could be a grinder. That's how it traded last time. It just grinded up all day long. Now, it did stop people out because they had their stops too close, but it just grinded. Very, very heart-wrenching type move on Hertz if you don't have a good position. So it just needs to hold the 6. It is a higher float. The float on Hertz is HTZ. Float on Hertz is looking like, okay, where's the float on Hertz? Come on. Up to 619 there. Okay, the float on Hertz is 123.47 million. Okay, so definitely one that if you're already holding it, you got your blessing. To day trade it may be a little tough. Hit a little top here at 626, but definitely given some opportunities, given the most opportunities that we've seen on the morning. So let's see. So it's going, what, 624? This is what it does. It acts like it's gonna go down, then it grinds a little higher, grinds a little higher, keeps taking souls. Top side of this is back over 622. Buyers, go ahead and hit it. There's the volume coming in there. Let's see it go ahead and try to go for another. It's gonna go for another high. Right over the top of this 622. Be the grinder that we know you are. keep going higher. $6.23. Little bit of indecision here at 6.16. Let's see if it can get back over 6.16. $6.16. There's 6.16 right over it. And see, this is Hertz is one of those that takes your soul. It does. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going down. Wow. Straight in the mouth. Straight in the mouth. So it hit a high up there of 638 with a kind of a hold right there in the $6 flat. So it's trading right in what looks like the head and shoulders area. And again, holding above that indecision there at 616. Go ahead and push on up. Push on up. 638. Go ahead and break it. We know you can. We don't believe in you, but we definitely believe in your craziness, your sporadicness to break out. See if it continues to hold this 616. $616, almost tapped it, held above it. So it looks like they're grabbing off of previous indecision. 616. Go ahead and break this high of 633s. Okay. A lot of volume coming in here. Yep, held at 616. Previous high was 638. So now we definitely got a line in the sand here at 6. Really don't want to see it breaking that down. And we had a kind of indecisive level there at 616, but whole dollar level that is trading above. And we'll see how it holds it. So at this point, this is a retest for it to come down. Let's see, back testing 616. So point of control just moved there. Let me move this up a little bit. It has 4 million shares traded on it, going back towards that 616. Continue to hold it. Majority trading that has happened on the 1 minute has been at the 618. Palantir has continued to fall down. All right, well, I'm going to continue to watch. Hertz is probably going to take, let's see, yeah, it's got quite a bit of volume going towards 5 million shares traded. Maybe a grinder throughout the day. To be honest, with this one, I've seen it trade before. It is very choppy, so you got to get a good position. You got to buy low and be trying to sell high, because you don't want to be buying breakouts, is what I'm saying. You want to be buying in a dip if you can at all. If you're going to day trade, if you're already in it, hey, you got blessed. But yeah, that is it for today. I'm going to continue looking on. If you want to get into Discord, Discord is free. We continue conversations over there as far as trading and what we see on the day. But yeah, for now, that is it for me. And I will continue to watch Hertz when I get to the other location. Good call out. It may be where volume is focused on the day. So, yep. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. What chart am I looking at? I'm looking at the 1 minute chart. This is a 1 minute chart. I also have the 5 and the 15-minute charts that I look at. I have the daily chart, and then I have the NQ over here pulled up right here. So this is my daily chart, 15-minute chart, 5-minute chart. Well, this is 15-minute chart on the NASDAQ, on the overall market, so I can see what the overall market is doing at all times. I never want to not know what the overall market is doing. I don't want to only be focused on the stock that I'm looking at because it may have ties to the overall market. But yeah, got these three pulled up, 15, 5, daily, and then back over here to the 1 minute. So those are my charts. But yeah, I will be back on tomorrow pre-market. If I take any trades or do anything today, I'll let you guys know. First day was a red day. I got caught just like last month, really. Low volume mover that really wasn't, I mean, it could do the range, but it just could not find the volume. So I'm gonna be a little bit more patient, let the volume come in, because it's not killed my month. It's easy to dig out of that. Like $100, $120. So I'm like, okay, I'll get out of that. But you know, we'll be back looking for those quality trades with that good volume to push me on to success. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow morning pre-market. We usually start pre-market now. It's 6 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time for me. I don't know what that time frame will be looking like for y'all, so I guess you could just do it accordingly. We go through our due diligence, going through the market, trying to see, hey, what's going on today? First of all, who's sucking up the volume, and is there a small cap or a low float that is moving with some catalysts, that is moving with some purpose and range that can pay us a good amount quickly. Hertz here bouncing off of that whole dollar level back up to the 616 level that we were watching earlier. I'm pretty sure it'll get back through it. But this whole dollar level is probably going to become some type of support. We'll have to see though. And it did have this initial idea of a downtrend, so we'll see if it can break out of this. What is this, like around like 625-ish level? So we'll see if it can break out of that and continue to go higher. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking Hertz can be one of those that sucks up volume on the day. It currently has 5 million shares traded and probably will have 10 million by the time the market gets ready to open. But we got about an hour to market open. But I'm about to hit the road, head over to the other location. We have a Discord. It is free that you can jump into, where we continue conversations about what's going on during the day. Any kind of news that drops from the feds, any kind of news that drops from, I mean, we're watching all the news. But yeah, that is it for today. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Let's see. Let's do that one.